Shalom Mubaraka Mispaka. Today we are going to dive deep. We are going to basically break down the Torah reasons why it says in Leviticus 19 and 27 not to shave the size of the beard. Well, see, this is what you have to understand. In the eyes of man, this right here is the most important part of the beard. But in the eyes of Yah, this is the most important part of a man's beard. Smoking that good old focus blend. Do you know what this is, man? This is the opposite of weed, man. This make you focus. This get you motivated. This make you get off the couch and do some stuff. And on top of that, it boosts your memory. It's composed of sage, rosemary oil, and peppermint leaf. It says smoking this won't get you high, but it may just elevate your success. This blend is anti-procrastination, anti-forgetfulness, anti-stress, anti-laziness. Stay motivated with sage leaf, peppermint leaf, and rosemary oil. You can get yourself some by clicking the link in the description. My favorite thing about this is it got a nice cool feeling in your throat because of the peppermint leaf. Now the title of this video is Beard Torahitical Importance. We're going to talk about the Torahitical importance of a beard. The first Torahitical importance of the beard, which we're gonna rank from least important to the most important. Remember this. This is what you must remember about the commandments of Yah. Anything that a human does, they do it for a reason. But anything that Yah does, he does it for multiple and or infinite reasons. The first reason is status. Status. Why do beards represent status? If you got a small beard like me, walking around the Holy Land, they would know that you're young, right? I'm only 20 years old. My beard just started actually growing last year, right? So if they saw me walking around the Holy Land, they would know that I'm young. If a man's walking around with a long beard in the Holy Land, that signified that he had a lot of status. He had a lot of wisdom. He had a lot of experience. And he had a lot of wealth. That is what the beard showed, right? When you had that long beard, it signified the greatness that you have accumulated throughout your life. Now, here's the second reason. Holiness. What does it mean to be holy? To be holy simply means to be set apart, to be different. If you look at the people who lived in the land with us, the Canaanites and the Mitzris, they shaved their beards off, especially the size of the beard. They thought this was an unkept part. They didn't like this part, so they shaved it clean. The Mitzris did it, the Egyptians did it, the Canaanites did it. A lot of nations around the earth shaved this part, but y'all said keep it. I put that on your face for a reason. It set us apart from the world. Negroes are not supposed to even shave the beard, because when we do, we get razor bumps because our hair curls, and when we shave it, it will curl down into the follicle again, and it will continue to grow, and it will form a razor bump, also known as the ingrown hair. That shows you that, you know, you wasn't meant. If you getting ingrown hairs and razor bumps, which is inflammation, is your body letting you know that something is wrong. If you getting inflammation from shaving your hair on your face, that means you don't need to be shaving your hair on your face. Your body is telling you something is wrong. You're doing something wrong. You're shaving the size of your beard. Now we're gonna get to the actual core of this video. All right. Power. How do beards represent power? Well, we must first look at the word beard in Hebrew. It is zakan. Zayin Kaf Nun. Zakan. Now, it literally means weapon lasts life. The weapon in the last days of your life. The weapon that you use in the last days of your life. That's what beard means. And what does that mean? We're going to break that down. I'm going to explain why it means the weapon that you use in the last days of your life. This is the Aleph. As you already know, it's an oxide and it represents power, strength. Now, if you turn the Aleph upside down, it looks like a mountain. Because out of all the landscape features upon this earth, the strongest thing is the mountain. How it stands out of the earth. It literally stands out. It literally shows itself. It literally shows its dignity and its glory. A mountain is the epitome of strength, right? You may be able to change the course of a river, cut down the largest tree. You may be able to dig a road through a hill. You may be able to drain a lake, but you cannot move a mountain. A mountain represents strength. Now, if you flip that perfectly upside down, you get a beard. Use your imagination a little. This is the chin hairs. This is the mustache. This is the side. But understand what is the side? The side is the horns. The side of the beard is the horns on the Aleph. If you look at my beard, not that I have a lot to work with, the side is literally shaped like the horns of a bull. This is your horns. The sides of your beard are your horns. When you cut that off, you're cutting off your horns. You're cutting off your strength. And I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break it down on a scientific level of how you are cutting off and shearing your strength as a man. This is what you must understand. Everything on the head connects to the brain. Your ears connect to your brain. Your eyes connect to your brain. Your nose connects to your brain. Your tongue, right? Your taste buds connect to your brain. All these sensory things that we have on our face connects directly to our brain. So why would hair be any different? Why would hair be any different, people? You have to understand this. Every hair on your body is just an extension of your nervous system. And when people say that, they mean it. It's an actual scientific fact. It's just an extension of your nervous system. Because if I pull out a hair, I'm going to feel it. It's going to hurt. If you feel anything, that means it's connected to a nerve. Every hair is connected to your brain in some way. Now, every hair is connected to a different part of your brain because it deals with different nervous channels, right? Have you ever pulled a hair on your body, on one part of your body, and felt a pain in another part of your body? Most people have. I have. And this is what I did. If I pulled a hair on the side of my beard, I feel a discomfort right here in the back of my head, the cerebellum. That's because the hair on the side of your head is directly connected to the nerves which enter into the cerebellum of the brain. See, out of the cerebellum and the brainstem comes the trigeminal nerve, the nerves that go to your eyes, your nose, and your mouth and jaw. Your hair is antennas, my people. So you have to understand, what does the cerebellum do? Well, the cerebellum is what we use for balance, calculated movements, speech, and hand-eye coordination. Now, why are these things important? Balance, calculated movement, speech, and hand-eye coordination. These are things that's important to everybody, but most importantly to men. Men need more balance than women. Men need more calculated movements than women. Men need more speech than women. And men need more hand-eye coordination than women, simply because We are the ones designed to protect, and if we need to fight, we're gonna need all of these. If we need to de-escalate the situation, we're gonna have to use speech. If we're gonna lead the tribe, lead them to the nearest drinking water, the nearest place where there's a lot of buffalo to hunt. If I'm gonna teach them how to make bow and arrows or teach them how to make any weapon of choice, I have to be able to know how to teach. Teaching is a mannerism that was specifically designed for the chiefs, for the men of the tribes thousands and thousands of years ago. So it's important to know how to speak as a man, because by your communication, you are leading a tribe. And also, you have to know how to do all of these things even better as a man. So that's why the size of the beard is very important as a man, because it's actually conducting and absorbing and picking up a lot of energy from the outside world, transferring it into the cerebellum of the brain, allowing you to have more balance, more precise calculated movements, better speech, and better hand-eye coordination. Speech is very important for a man. I just told you why. But the hairs on the face, this includes the mustache and the beard, are bringing energy into something we know as the throat chakra. Right? People think chakras are a myth. It's literally not. And when I get further down into cholenology, I'm going to break down the chakras of the body and prove they exist. But right now, we're just going to stay in the limits of the beard. See, all the hairs on your body, especially as a man, are over a chakra. Men have pubic hair. And that pubic hair goes all the way up to the heart. And even hair grows on the throat and around the mouth. The brow chakra has eyebrows. And of course, the crown chakra has hair. So men have hair on each and every single chakra because we're absorbing an immense amount of energy into our being to allow us to supercharge and become extremely strong if Yah decides to put his spirit upon us. Now, this is just the true fact. This is how Adam was created. He was created with that ideology in Yahuwah's mind already. Now, speech is very important. And I'm going to break it down as to why. The throat chakra is the chakra that's associated with the cerebellum. And the throat chakra is the chakra that is known for speech. You can unblock your throat chakra by telling the truth. You can raise the vibration of your throat chakra. Because when we're talking about chakras, we're just talking about a ball of spiritual energy that's in your throat. That's what your throat chakra is. You can, just like your aura is made out of the same stuff as your aura, but it's inside of you, right? Your bioelectric field, but it's inside of you. And by telling the truth and speaking good words, we raise the vibration of our throat chakra. But the hairs on our beard and mustache is what's connecting to our throat chakra. Who was somebody in scripture that was known for being able to speak very good? Aaron, right? Because Moses didn't want to speak to the children of Israel, but y'all said your brother can speak very well. Who is him? Aaron. Aaron was a very good speaker, right? What else is known about Aaron? Aaron's beard was so long that it went down to the skirt of his garment. So there's a correlation between beard length and speech coordination. And if you want to increase the amount of energy absorbed into the nerves that lead into the cerebellum, you will grow the size of the beard, right? And let me tell you something. Here is a cross section of the cerebellum. As you can see, there's actually two sides to the cerebellum. You got one wing on one side and the other wing on the other side. And inside of the cerebellum is guarding the arbor vitae, which in Latin means tree of life. The tree of life, this is literally very important neurons inside of the cerebellum, allowing you to have balanced, calculated movement, good speech, hand-eye coordination. This tree of life, this is literally a tree of life being guarded by the outer layer, which is called the cerebellum. The cerebellum is basically like the cherubim protecting the tree of life with flaming swords in the garden. What is the flaming swords in this case? The flaming swords are the neurons which use sometimes visible electric charges to communicate to other neurons. In fact, the cerebellum has more neurons than any other part of the brain. When you get old and you absorb this energy into your cerebellum, you'll get this old man strength. The horns. You understand? These are your horns, man. When you understand horns, when Yah commanded the Levites to build the altar, he said put 4 horns on the altar, because the horns represent Yah's power on earth. Horns always represent power, always in scripture. Even when you read in the book of Daniel, and Daniel sees this beast with these horns, and every horn represents a kingdom because it represents a specific power. Horn represents power. This is your power. Do you understand that, Israelite man? Adam is the only creature that continues to grow his hair long after maturity. Cultures and religions from all around the world can agree that longer hair increases vitality, strength, intuition, and tranquility. Hair represents power, and a low haircut in many cultures generally represented servitude or slavery. Have you ever noticed that all philosophers of the ancient world had long beards? It's just like a person in today's time wearing a tank top and gym shorts trying to pitch you a business deal. You just would not be taken seriously if you had no beard trying to teach people wisdom in many of these cultures. When the hair anywhere on your head is allowed to attain its full mature length, then phosphorus, calcium, and vitamin D are all produced and enter the lymphatic fluid and eventually the spinal fluid through the 2 ducts on the top of the brain. This ionic change creates more efficient memory and leads to greater physical energy, improved stamina, and patience. Hairs are the antennas that gather and channel solar energy to the frontal lobes, the part of the brain you use for meditation. These antennas act as conduits to bring you greater quantities of spiritual energy. During the day, the hair absorbs solar energy, but at night, it absorbs lunar energy. Just like the hair on a fly, our hairs pick up vibration and alert the brain of subtle energy. Our hair transmits vast amounts of information to the brainstem, the limbic system, and the neocortex of the brain. Our hair is both a transmitter and a receiver of energy. Note how Joshua received Moses' spirit as he placed his hands upon Joshua's head.